Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sarah. On today's video, we are going to be learning how to draft a pattern for this corset dress. If that's something you're interested in, come with me and let's get started. Also, do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thank you. We're going to start by drafting out our basic bodice pattern, and I've done mine here, so you should do yours. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and label this. We're going to label this chest line, bust line, under bust line, and waistline. We're going to go to our armhole line and make our armhole curve. So we're going to do 8 divided by 2. Whatever your armhole measurement is divided by 4, you do that divided by 2. Get the midpoint and then go in by ½ an inch. We do this all the time on the channel, so if you don't know what I'm doing, maybe you should go back and watch my how to draft the basic bodice pattern video. I'll leave it down in the description box and up on the screen here so you can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and mark out my bust measurement divided by 4 here so I can know where my curve for my armhole is going to stop at. Now that we've gotten that, I'm going to go ahead and start with the other measurements. So we're going to come up here at the chest line by ½ an inch, and we're going to also go in by ½ an inch. So just like you're creating a small box at that point, and you're going to put it together. Next thing we're going to do is come at the under bust line and go up by 1 inch. After marking out my 1 inch, I'm going to go ahead and use my ruler to put the dots together like this. Okay, now we're going to bring in our cup, and I'm using a size 40. You get to know your bust size when you go to buy. You can just ask. So I'm going to make sure that my cup is sitting right on the 1 inch line that we went up by, and I'm going to go ahead and trace this, but we want to make sure not to press this when we're tracing. Don't press it, just hold it firm the way it is, or even hold it together just a little so you have enough space to do what you need to do. Now that we've gotten that, we're going to go in by ½ an inch. Now that ½ an inch is going to be our sewing allowance when we're done with the whole drafting and we transfer onto our fabric. I'm going to just mark out ½ inch all the way and connect it together. After doing that, we're just going to write here sewing allowance, so when we're cutting we know what we're cutting. I placed an arrow also to know what I'm doing. So here I'm just going in by, I was going out actually by 1½ inch. That will be my sewing allowance. So on the waistline here, what we're going to do is our hip measurement divided by 4. Now my hip measurement divided by 4 is 11, and I'm just going to add my 1½ inch sewing allowance at this point, and I'm going to connect the lines together. If you don't understand what I'm saying, please watch what I'm doing. Thank you so much. At the top here, I'm going to go in by 3 inches, and then I'll add ½ an inch, or you can add 1 inch for the sewing allowance, and I'm going to connect from that point to the armhole, just like this. I'm going to write that down as yoke. Next thing we're going to do is come at the waistline here. We're going to come at the waistline here and go down by 4 inch, and we're going to connect from the waistline down to the 4 inch, just like what's happening here. Now that we're done with the front part, we're going to go ahead and cut. Now that we're done with cutting the front part, this is what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and do the back. I also drafted the basic body for the back. I also did that. I'm just going to go ahead and label, and from the top here we're going to go down by 1 inch, and then from the armhole line we're also going to go in by 3 inches, and then we'll come in by half an inch. I did half an inch here. You can do 1 inch like I said before, and then we're going to connect those dots together. This is basically like a canoe neck for the back. And then from the back here again, from that 1 inch that we went down by, we're also going to go down by 1 inch as well. From the side we're going to go in by 4 inches, and we're going to connect like a curve to meet the 4 inches. And from here we're going to do our armhole curve for the back. Now speaking of that curve, we're going to go from the 1 inch that we went down by and make a curve to meet the 4 inches. Now you can use a curved ruler for this, and you can also use your free hand. That's just what I wanted you guys to know. If you notice, there is no zipper allowance here. That's because we're not going to be using a zipper allowance for this. We're not going to be using a zipper for this. We're going to be using loops. Here I'm going to come down by 4 inches as well, just like what we did in the front. If you don't want your back to have a basque waistline, you don't have to go down by 4 inch. Here we're just putting our main measurements, but I just wanted you guys to know that if you don't want a basque waistline for your back, you can just leave it that way. And you can also add a zipper allowance when you're doing your own pattern drafting. But here I'm going to be using a loop for mine, so I didn't bother with the zipper allowance whatsoever. Now we're done putting everything together. I'm going to go ahead and now come in here by 3 inches from the side. I'm going to come in by 3 inches and connect from that point to the basque waistline. Notice how you see that the zipper allowance is not going to be needed, and we're going to be actually adding a loop. So this, I'm just shading out the parts that we need to cut out, and I'm going to write down here yoke for the back. So after doing that, we're going to go ahead and cut. Okay y'all, this is the end of the drafting of the back pattern. I put a dot there to remind me that we are going to be using a loop and button for this. These are the patterns placed side by side. On my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I transfer onto a fabric and also sew. I hope you enjoyed watching the video as much as I enjoyed making it, and I do hope you try this out for yourself, and I hope yours turns out really nice. Yo, with that being said, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. Don't forget to love yourself because I love you. Have a beautiful day or night, whichever it is you live for. Bye.